What's up, YouTube? This is Aaron from Aaron Thoughts, and I'm here to talk about the top 5 best things I learned while serving in the military. If you like this type of stuff and content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Number 1, time management. So to preface you a little bit, I served in the military for about 11 years. I was both a captain and I also was enlisted as a soldier. So I got the experience with both. So growing up, I was always late to everything, to parties, to events, to graduations. My family was the embodiment of colored people time. Seriously. And when I joined the military, it was a huge adjustment period. I had to really get chewed out a lot of the times, no pun intended, when it came to me being on time. And it was super hard for me to adjust to that because I never in my life experienced just being punctual for anything. And I'm blessed that I went through that experience because it's made my life 10 times easier. I would like to think that I'm the best planner in my friend group. So whenever there's vacations, whenever there's events, whenever there's anything, I'm now super relied upon because they know I'm gonna be on time and I plan things super in advance. You feel me? Before that, I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't writing things down. I didn't know how long it would take for me to accomplish something. And now that I plan things out, it's been way better and a lot less stress on my life. So I would say that's the number 1 thing. The second thing I would say is organizing your thoughts. So in the military, it's super critical that you come across as intelligent as much as possible. The reason why is because a lot of people are just super stressed out. A lot of people are dealing with different things, whether it be personal, like divorces, or a soldier, may have passed away. There's a lot of times where people are just super tense. So the more you're able to organize your thoughts and to articulate them extremely well, the more you're putting everybody at ease. And the more I started writing things down about what I was thinking before I would present it to a general, before I would present it to a captain when I was a soldier, the more I started seeing flaws in my own thoughts of what I was writing down. Sometimes I would write things down about the mission. I'm like, oh, Timothy ain't gonna be here today. Oh, I actually have to go to an event that day. So you see, it just builds up that attention to detail and to just be more mindful about what you're about to communicate and to look in the flaws in your thoughts before you present them to an audience, right? So I would say that's 2. Number 3, I would say is research. So in the military, it's nothing new. We are spread out amongst 6 different continents, right? And you're dealing with different armies, different cultures, people who may like you, people who may hate you. But that being said, it's super important to do research on these other nations before you go there, right? That way, not only are you building up a better wealth of knowledge, but they're able to be a lot more receptive towards you because you know how to relate to them and vice versa. Right? If you have any types of biases, if you have any types of notions in your head, you need to be able to not only know about what your own notions are, but to be able to research the opposing thought, the opposing viewpoint, and to also be able to articulate that one as well. And the more you're able to do that, the better you are for it. And I think it's made me a bigger empathizer of other nations and other cultures and other groups of people just in general. And I think it's a super underrated skill to have. So I would say research just to build up that critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, I would say understanding your core values. Growing up, I never really knew what my purpose was, knew what my core values were when it came to family, when it came to religion, when it came to, fitness, right? And when I first joined ROTC and the Army, when I was enlisted, they would do these presentations about, core values and like patriotism and the history of America and all these different things. And the more I was understanding my own core values, the more I started realizing why they were teaching us that stuff. If you understand your own core values, whether it be anything, whatever subtopic it is, you're way more inclined to know what you're willing to sacrifice for, and you're able to carve out better what your purpose in life is. So the more I started doing research on my own self and understanding my core values, I started realizing why America is so patriotic. The reason why, in my theory, I think that America is so patriotic is because a lot of people who've served understand their core values. And now they're way more inclined to want to serve their country, and if need be, give up their lives for it because they understand what their purpose is. And it's a super underrated skill to have. Last but not least, and here it is, public speaking. I think that it is super important to have. I was reading an article somewhere that said that most people's biggest fear is public speaking, sometimes more so than death, right? Growing up, I was a horrible public speaker. I was always nervous to do book reports in class, things of that nature. But when I became a captain in the Army, I had to get rid of that. I was forced to always public speak. And the reason why it's important is because you never know when you might have to step up. Let's say there's a situation and a commander is absent, or he switched to unit, or someone may have died or gotten really, really sick. Somebody's gonna need to be able to take those notes and to be able to articulate them to the team of people. So the more I started understanding that, the more I was realizing that, the more I became a better and less nervous public speaker. Also, to caveat off of that, I started realizing most people who are CEOs or who are senior executives, a lot of them aren't even the greatest public speakers. They just have done a whole bunch of rehearsals. How do I know that? It's because when I was serving, I would meet a lot of generals, I would meet a lot of captains when I was a soldier, I would meet a lot of these high-ranking officials, and they would always come up to me and ask me, "Hey Aaron, can you let me know what your thoughts are on my speech?" Right? They would just ask, and I would listen for 5-10 minutes, and I would just poke holes in what they were articulating. And these would be pretty high-ranking officials. And the more I was doing that and going through those types of exercises, the more I realized a lot of people, they just rehearse. So I think it's a super underrated skill to have, and I'm blessed to have it. And I would challenge everyone who's watching, if you can, visit Toastmasters or go to some of these different organizations where they really just emphasize public speaking, to be honest with you. But that's all. So I'll rehash it again. Number 1, time management. Number 2, organizing your thoughts. Number 3, research. Number 4, understanding your core values. And number 5, public speaking. If you like this type of content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Aaron from Aaron Thoughts. Peace.